Welcome to Life Parlay. I'm here with my Taylor Mad hat, and I have Cris on the line as well. We are back again, one day away from Hawaii trip, so I thought that it would be perfect to talk about J.J. Watt and a couple other big things. I think that we need to talk about for this week. No bets again, unless you got anything. Definitely let us know. I think I did text you about it today earlier, Cris. We talked about. Houston was on a 12-game losing streak. Let it ride. Are they play tonight? I think they do.
Yeah. Last time I checked, the Nets was up 50-39.
Wow.
I wouldn't be surprised though if they somehow came back. It seems like it could be a weird game. So
Oh, dude, my dad's gonna be pissed. It is 63-82 with 6:48 left in the third quarter. They're losing. They've scored 9 points so far in the third quarter.
yeah, they're probably if they're not the worst basketball team in the NBA, but definitely one of them, 100%. So
Yeah, my old man had a parlay with them 2 days ago, and they got blown out. And then tonight he took them again at like plus 3.5. He's like, why not? Like they're 12-game losing streak. Why wouldn't I do it? And now it shows why you probably shouldn't do it.
that's true.
Jesus. But all right. So first one I wanted to get to was J.J. Watt. He signed with the Arizona Cardinals was that Monday, I believe?
Yeah, yeah.
Monday. He signed with them on Monday, 2-year deal, $31 million. 21 of it was guaranteed. And I texted you about it right away. That's the dumbest thing in the world. I think personally. He's 31. He's gonna be 32 pretty soon here. He played 16 games this year. Year before he only played 8. Year before that he played 16, and then before that he played 5 games and 3 games. What's your thoughts on J.J. Watt joining those the lovable the Cardinals?
I mean, I was somewhat surprised. I'm pretty sure they were like 50-1 at one point to like land him. So I seen someone bet like $20. But I think it's a solid move. Um, I honestly am somewhat shocked because they did have a top 10 defense right last year. So it's a little confusing why they decided to go with JJ Watt, potential with that size of a contract, rather than upgrading some positions on offense, which seemed to be more of the problem. But I guess they feel they have a lot of confidence in Cliff turning it around, and they also do have a lot of weapons, right, on offense. So maybe they feel like after another offseason it'll click. But I was a little surprised. I'm gonna guess most of the guaranteed money's up front for the first year because it wouldn't make sense, right? To have a lot of money guaranteed in the second year just so they can have flexibility and cut them if it doesn't work. But the defense is already good. It's all about if he can stay healthy or not, right? Like if he can stay healthy, him and Chandler Jones, I think, might be something to deal with. This isn't J.J. Watt from years ago when people were saying he might be one of the best defensive ends ever, but it's still a really, really good player when healthy, when on the field. So as long as he's on the field, ready to go, I mean, I think this should work on paper. So
Yeah, J.J. Watt and Chandler Jones, I think it's a good defensive front there. It's kind of like I want to say like okay, Akeem Hicks, right? Bears.
yeah,
You got Watt, Steelers. You have what's his name? Chase Young. Chase Young is a fantastic defensive lineman. Obviously I don't compare Chase Young to Akeem Nicks, or Hicks, but I obviously probably to Watt. I think they're kind of close 1-on-1 just because Watt's been in the league for now, was it 2 years? On the Steelers, right? 2 or 3 years.
three.
3 years, okay. And then you got J.J. Watt and Chandler Jones. Chandler Jones is a little older too, isn't he? He's got to be in his late 20s, I believe. But I don't know the J.J. Watt one. Okay, bro's got 101 sacks. I think the record for sacks in a career are held by. It's funny. I play Madden enough to know it. It's like 146, I believe. Um, J.J. Watt will not get that. Um, I would love to see him stay healthy and have it pan out for them because I think they were a pretty decent team last year. Um, but I thought a team that he would have been going to for like a 1 year or 2 year contract, I thought maybe the Ravens would have gone after him, because I think the Ravens, if they would have attacked a J.J. Watt kind of guy, especially towards the end of his career, I think that that could have been bode well for them. You know, maybe only sign him for a year, maybe give him half that money, and then also you got to think too. Who else do you need as like a Ravens? I think the Ravens are that one team that's just a little bit above the Cardinals, and I think that they're just missing a couple of those pieces. So I was surprised to see J.J. Watt go there and have the Ravens not go after him.
Yeah, I mean, for me, for the Cardinals, again, their defense was played really, really well last year, and I honestly think this is a really, really talented team. And I think the problem is Cliff. I think sometimes like his play calling, his situational calling, even like time management at times sometimes is a little bit confusing. So I was just confused on that end because again, it's not. I don't think it's a horrible move, but you can use those resources if you want to get a line, right? Like if you want to improve on there, maybe a tight end, like there's different things that they could have focused on rather than getting JJ Watt and rather than a defense that's already decent, already putting somewhat pressure on the quarterback. So and having that premier defensive line guy. But I don't think it's a bad move at all. But it's just interesting now, right, to see the philosophy. Maybe they see the different holes they have on offense as them going to draft those possessions in the draft. That's what I would assume. So
Yeah. Hey, really fast. Let's bring this up. I want to bring this up into the talk really quick. So obviously there's 7 rounds of the NFL draft. Didn't they used to do it differently?
Um, before I think it was different. But for a while, for a long time, since I was like younger, it's been like 7 rounds
Yeah,
for
there was
sure.
someone that I believe that I saw said that there was at one point there's a shit ton of rounds in the draft, because I always thought that, because you got to think too. Let's see if it pulls it up. Um, Precursors, rationale. I don't know. I saw something where they had it where it was like a shit ton of rounds, actually what it was. Um so it was kind of crazy to think, because you have to think you probably like a team like the Cardinals or the Ravens or um who just I think the Chiefs are going to come back and win the Super Bowl this next year. I don't think they really have to do too much. But because they're not really missing any key parts, right? I think they just kind of ran into a brick wall, which was Tom Brady and the NFL refs, I think, right? Um,
Right. They can definitely improve defensively, but I mean, when you have Mahomes, I don't even know if it really matters, right? Like it's just hard to pick against Mahomes, like in any game, in any situation. So
exactly. So you brought up a great point. I think it's interesting to see where you would think that maybe Cardinals would maybe save that kind of money, and maybe even do like a cash option and like trade away a player. Maybe like one of their like 5 running backs that they have. They have like, I mean, who do they have? They have like Chase Edmonds, who like maybe what in a couple. Okay, we have some beef with Chase Edmonds because he was dating our girl for a while there, and then there's a
Kenyon Drake,
Kenyon Drake, which he didn't come out as good as he thought. We thought they were going to be with him, because I thought he was a better player than that. And yet I think they have
right?
2 more. I think they have 2 more. Plus they have a fullback that's like a interchangeable running back slash fullback. I would think that they would have just tried maybe shopping one of them away with maybe a cash option, try to go after a little more of a, maybe get another draft pick or two from another team, maybe like in the late rounds, and you pick up some more offensive guys, because I thought that the Cardinals had a pretty decent defense already. And I think that it just would have been better for them maybe to go for something a little more offensively, because they struggled a lot with the offense. I mean, remember that game? It was against the Seahawks, in which we'll get to Seahawks here in a second. That game that it was just back and forth, like bad field goal kicking in the overtime, and like just they couldn't score points, and I think that the Seahawks struggled this year for sure. I don't think that they were very good at all in that sense, and I thought that maybe more offense for the Cardinals, and so I was surprised to see a J.J. Watt move over.
Yeah, it was weird because it seemed like, especially like towards the tail end of the season, like the offense just wasn't getting the job done anymore. I don't know what it was. Maybe certain teams was able to adjust. It's sort of hard when you don't and you can't establish a run game, right? Like to actually like balance it out. And it's just tough at times with the certain play calls and maybe being a little too aggressive when they shouldn't be. So yeah, I was really confused. I would have liked them to possibly get a tight end. I like the receivers, obviously D Hop. I like Christian Kirk. I like Isabella. I so I like their weapons and different deep weapons that they have, but I just would have thought even looking for running backs, like I said, Aaron Jones or someone like that. Like I just feel like there was just that money could have been spent elsewhere. So
Yeah, definitely, definitely. It's interesting to see JJ Watt go there. Interesting where his career is going to go with this one. But we'll move on from JJ Watt here. So let's see. All right, so Russell Wilson is a big topic right now. We've talked about him before, and I thought we'd talk about him again. We won't spend too much time on him though. But this man, like, there is a hype in Chicago right now. I mean, I don't know if you saw it. I may have sent it to you, and it was like, top 5 things, or it was like, I forget what it was, but it was like, I can't even remember what it was. It's dumb. I don't even know why I went there. But anyways, they talked about it, and they were like, yeah, Russell Wilson, like I could see him in number 3 at the Bears jersey, man, and like what it is too is well, you gotta give up a lot for him. I think not only the Bears, if they wanted to get him, they'd have to give up a lot, right? I think if you're the Raiders, you probably are giving up Derek Carr. Probably you're probably giving up a draft pick, and you're probably giving away like another defensive player. Bears go the same way. You're probably giving up. They even want Trubisky? Probably not, right? So you might give him Foles and Trubisky plus a defensive guy and a couple round picks and maybe even cash option. You have Dallas Cowboys. You have this unanswered stuff with Dak Prescott. Do they maybe sign him for a 1-year thing and then try to shop him right away? Same thing with him. Then what happens there? Like, because they're not going to be able to get, as a Cowboys, you're not going to get Russell Wilson and keep Dak Prescott. That's not going to happen, and that would be really dumb of you because you'd be overpaying this person and absorbing this contract, and that would be dumb money management skills. And then what was the other team?
it was the Bears, the Saints.
Saints. Okay, and same
Yeah.
thing with the Saints. Obviously, there's unanswered questions there with Drew Brees. You have Jameis Winston, who I mean you've talked about before, 30 for 30 man, no ESPN, and he's very 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 good there too. I think he's still got promising career ahead of him. But if you're the Saints and you go after a Russell Wilson, then a guy like Taysom Hill probably leaves, who's a utility man that you have. You probably get rid of a defensive guy, same thing. So it's a lot of stuff. It's a lot of pressure on these teams that he kind of talked about. Or it's funny, he hasn't even said anything. It was agent that said everything.
Yeah, so it's like reports being leaked, and then his agent said he didn't ask for a trade. To be 100% honest, I think he wants a trade. It's like very weird. He had a interview with Dan Patrick maybe a month or so ago, and I remember Dan Patrick was asking him his future in Seattle, and he was saying he didn't know, which on the surface seems like okay, what's wrong with that? How is that weird? But if you really think about like Russell Wilson, and I got this from Ryan Russillo, shout out to him. But if you really think of Russell Wilson and how he preps for interviews, how he talks to the media, how he plays everything safe, right? Like it's just like a weird thing to say coming from Russell Wilson. The other thing I think is weird too is that you're seeing a lot of the different stories leak out about Russell Wilson and why he might not be unhappy or why he might be unhappy there, right? Like it's almost like he's trying to sway the public perception, and basically I guess he wants to make it look like the Seahawks are in the wrong in all this. He definitely leaked something that said, I guess I forget what week it is, but during the season when he wanted to make an adjustment, or he offered some advice, with a certain scheme, the team shot him down and he left the facilities mad. Like there's different things that he's leaking, right? To also like sway people against the Seahawks. So it's very weird. And Russell Wilson likes to play it very safe. So I don't expect him to pull the nuclear option and say, listen, I'm not suiting up. You either trade me or because I'm not playing, right? I don't expect him to do that at all because that
No.
just is not like his forte. But I do see him trying to sway public opinion and try to put pressure on the Seahawks, where everyone's like, "Yeah, the Seahawks is wrong. The Seahawks is wrong." To basically get a move out of there. But I think Russell Wilson's the third best quarterback in the league. I mean, I know he struggled right after his the beginning of the season where he was on fire and played really really well. But as far as all the boxes that a quarterback checks off, I mean, there's only two dudes I'd rather have than Russell Wilson. That's Mahomes and Rodgers. So if I'm a team and I actually have a chance to get this guy, I will give up whatever it takes to get him because he can literally turn the worst team in the league to a playoff team. I mean, I think we've seen it the last couple of years with the Seahawks defense, even though they played better last year. Obviously, nowhere near one of the better defenses in the league. For years before the DK Metcalfs, the Chris Carsons, when he's just playing with, Tyler Lockett, who's really good. I don't know if he's a one as far as receivers go, but him just playing with inferior talent and being able to raise the skills of these guys around him, it just shows you how good and how important he is to a franchise. So I think if any team has the ability to get him or can get him, they 100% should, without a question, and give up everything.
Yeah, so let's see. Some former NFL All-Pro from CBS Sports. Who is this that decided to say something? Brandon Marshall. So I'm guessing that's not the wide receiver. I'm guessing that's the defensive
The
the
linebacker.
linebacker. He's a pro. It says former NFL pro All-Star stiff arms Russell Wilson to Cowboys rumors and says pay and build around Dak. So they maybe they. I mean, as a Cowboys, think about it, as a Cowboys fan, do you look at a guy like Russell Wilson and say, do we want a 32-year-old who's obviously made a name for himself, or do we go for a guy and build around a man that just snapped his ankle in half like 3 spots, and is he going to be the same quarterback? I don't know. Maybe Dak Prescott becomes more of a throwing quarterback and the better in the pocket than he does running down the field and stuff like that. So it's interesting to see. I mean, Russell Wilson's 32. Obviously, age is just a number when it comes to football because we got proved that with Tom Brady. So it's interesting. I don't think it's gonna be like a Le'Veon Bell situation with him where he's gonna sit out. That's exactly what you were saying too. I just think that there's a lot of unanswered stuff, and I mean, he probably just doesn't like Pete Carroll anymore. Pete Carroll probably just getting under his nerves, man. Like, could you imagine sitting in like nothing wrong with you, Pete Carroll? Pete Carroll, if I get to meet you one day, then I apologize, but I don't think that from just seeing him on TV, I don't think that I would want to sit in a room with Pete Carroll for more than like 5 hours. Like, imagine sitting him on a plane ride from like here to Australia. I don't know if I'd want to be a part of that. Like, I don't know if I want to sit next to him for 14 hours. I think that he would piss me off. All I would hear is from his gum that he's
Right.
chewing. So
I mean, I think it's he's been there for a while. It's almost time for a change, right? I mean, the crazy thing about it is they just fired their offensive coordinator, Schottenheimer, who I thought just was just way too conservative and just had a bunch of bad play calls throughout like different postseasons that I was surprised like no one said anything about it because the crazy thing is as conservative as they play it's just like blows my mind. Russell Wilson, like I said, to me is the third best quarterback in the league, and I mean I don't really think there's really an argument against that. I mean, it's just crazy that you wouldn't put the ball in this dude's hands and just let him sling the ball around right for the whole game. I think it doesn't make any sense, and I think he deserves to leave, and I hope he does and it goes to a better team with a better system around him.
yeah,
So
yeah. All right. Well, let's move on from Russell Wilson here. We fell back a little bit behind, but let's move forward. MLB started a couple days ago. Super fun that they got baseball back. You can get tickets right now actually in Arizona. It's socially distanced baseball, which um, I don't know if you saw today. Texas and Mississippi both said screw you to COVID and to the people and said, let's open everything back up, screw the mask mandate, even though Texas has been open since day one anyways. So I don't know what that means. Like, I guarantee that no one was going to follow those rules there anyways. So that's just funny to see that pop up, which also is kind of sad too, because you don't know how that's going to happen, what's going to pan out for the next 2 months if once this goes through. Um, But then I also wanted to bring up with baseball. So this is where I wanted to go with baseball because I know you don't watch baseball much. So I found tickets for Wrigley Field, Chicago. It's the Dodgers versus the Cubs, May 3rd. They actually have tickets for sale at starting at $81, like $81 up to $500 for socially distanced baseball games in Chicago, and they're selling tickets. And guess what's crazy is that Chicago hasn't even made it an announcement yet if they're even going to allow fans, and they are already selling tickets. So like they maybe know something we don't know. I don't know about that one, or they just know that they can make that money now, and then later on they can be like, oh, we'll just give you back, we'll just give you some like money towards another game in the future. You know what I mean?
Yeah, which I think they're gonna do for sure. Because I know my dad had like some tickets for the Sixers, and they were just like, yeah, we'll just give you credit, or you can roll these over to the next year. So I think they're gonna do that, right? Like, just I guess to soften the blow for empty stadiums and the loss of money there, right? Because that's a lot of money as far as the revenue goes through 162 games, but like 80 what or 63 games, like 80 something home games, right? So that's a lot of money as far as people not attending, and when you count the concessions and just different things. So I definitely see them doing that. And then at some point, I mean, there's news that the vaccine, every adult um, will get the vaccine by May or the end of May. So I think they're banking on that, and they want to keep things open and flexible just in case anything changes. So it makes sense.
So the website Vivid Seats, it says right here, it says when an event cancels, we'll always send you a notice via email. Anyways, and then it says if you have purchased tickets to an event that has been canceled by the event organizer, which technically would mean that there aren't allowing fans in the stadium. It says right here they'll give you a loyalty credit for 110% of the full value of your order total with all the fees and everything. So really what that means is nothing because you just spent $100 to go to a baseball game. They're giving you 110% back, so whatever. So they're gonna give you like 100. So you spent 100, they're gonna what? So they give you 110, right?
Right.
Um, okay, then when those games actually come out and then you actually allow to go to the games, that 110 is going to go for a quarter of what the actual prices of the tickets are going to be. So I don't know. Like I wonder if people are going for them or not. And just if I were them, if I were like people like if I had money, okay, if I had money, that's what I would say. If I had money and I could do this, I probably would actually go and buy as many tickets as I can in that lower end. And then it sounds sketchy, but I'd probably try to sell them to people now through other websites because then what happens is I've already made my nut, and then now the company will give them back their money. So then there's probably some kind of loophole you kind of play around with that one. It's kind of shitty, but because you're kind of screwing the ticket websites, but they make so much money as it in anyways. So I don't know how that one would work out.
100%.
But all right, let's move on. We're going to golf. I want to get to golf really fast here. Nothing too much to say here like crazy. I saw a bet on BR betting, or was it? I think it was DraftKings. It was on DraftKings Instagram page. Some dude put like $1 down to win like $1,500 or $1,300 on Morikawa or something like that to win. Plus like something else. Did you see that
Yeah,
one?
I know what you're talking about. I can't think of the other leg, but yeah, I did see that the guy cashed out.
Yeah, so that's what I wanted to go with golf because I thought that it was interesting and also two big news from my end. I would say I get to golf on Saturday in Hawaii, so I'm bringing the clubs, and we are playing at one of the 6 like private clubs on Oahu. So I'm
Jesus.
gonna be feeling fly, man. I'm gonna be feeling fly.
What's that running? Like,
I don't
what you
know.
paying?
I don't know. Like, bro said that it was reasonable. Um, he said it was reasonable. Green fees. So I said, all right. Like, my man said it was reasonable. So,
Yeah.
I'm fine with that one. But I don't know. Like, honestly, I think if it's Hawaii, it's my first time golfing there, like as an adult. I don't know. I'm cool with spending $140 on, golf, especially on a private course. Like, I don't know. You're only there for 4 days. Like, might
Yeah,
as well go for it, right? It's like
it's vacation.
yeah,
It's the
right?
experience, right? Like you're not only paying for like the golf course and the golf, but just the experience of being with the homies somewhere nice, warm, somewhere you never been, somewhere you might not go ever again. Like I'm just saying, like you obviously never know. So when you have an opportunity, right, like to do these type of things and experience these type of things, like money shouldn't hold you back if you can afford it. So I'm with you 100%. So
Yeah, and then the only thing from golf too that I wanted to bring up really, really fast. I want to hear your thoughts on it, how cool it was for you. But on Sundays, Tiger wears red. He put the TV on. He tweeted about it too, and he said he was touched that lots of golf players, like women and men, were all wearing red on Sunday, kind of in his honor. Um, I think that's kind of cool. I think that's kind of like that part of sports that you just can't write about. There's nothing like that's not stuff you can make up and put in a. It's almost like a movie. You know what I mean?
right.
It's almost like a movie, but it's real life, and I don't know. It's very interesting to see.
Yeah, I think it's a really cool gesture, and I think something that we have to realize is that like a lot of these people was watching Tiger Woods grow up, right? Like Tiger Woods was like a lot of these people's idol, so it just shows you just like how much respect and admiration the golf community has for him, and that's amazing. And again, like we were saying last week, I'm really glad that he was able to survive that accident. Seems in good spirits. Seems like he'll be back, I guess, eventually. I know he has like some rehab and coming off surgery and everything, but it's just really, really, really cool because Tiger did so much for the game of golf, right? Like I mean, obviously it's a global sport, but just like the different communities and backings that was interested just because of Tiger Woods and just what he does to actually on a major Sunday and what he does to the viewership, I think is amazing. So it was really cool to see them basically pay homage to Tiger.
Yeah. I loved it. I loved it, and I think it's golf, man. That bro went through so many surgeries. You know that bro. Like give him 2 years. He'll be a little 2 years older. Maybe he'll find another hot little blondie somewhere, and maybe he'll start playing golf again. So hopefully we get that right. Otherwise, we celebrate for Phil Mickelson.
Yeah, I actually did see a clip of Rory struggling to get out this bunker. Like he was like struggling to get out this bunker. It was crazy. Like it probably took him like I don't know, like 4 shots to get out because like he would hit it, he couldn't clear it. It would come back down. Then he would hit it. It would come out the bunker and then come rolling back down in the bunker. Like it was actually pretty insane. I don't know if you've seen the clip, but if you didn't, you need to go look it up.
I will
So,
check it out. But what's always great to see, Chris, is that these golfers are just like us. They struggle. I've watched all the time like YouTube videos on it, and like these guys are just like hacking, like they're just hacking away, like in the weeds, or they go and hit it and they like flub it like 18 feet in front of them. They're pros and they do the same thing. But the thing is that you know they may do that once every 50 rounds they play on TV. We do that like once every 18 holes. You know what I mean? Or once every
yeah,
8 holes. So
or
unless you're exactly. So all right,
once every swing.
yeah, right, right. If you yo Wisconsin, man, that bro was sitting there. You were sitting there. You whacked at that ball 5 times, and then you finally we're like, just watch the ball. You're like, I'm watching the ball, man. I'm watching the ball. Come on. So, but all right, I want to get to trivia here. I won't bash it too much here. I want to get to the trivia, and then we'll finish off real quick.
Sir.
All right. Who was drafted higher, Russell Wilson or Jamarcus Russell?
Jamarcus Russell. Easy one.
All right. Which NFL team name was chosen by a fan contest? We talked about them today. They came into our mouths just for a little bit today.
The Saints.
Seattle Seahawks. All right. Easy one. Here we go. The area within the 20 yards of the end zone line is referred to as the
Red zone.
boom. As of 2018, which NFL team has the most Super Bowl wins? As of 2018, so you don't count 2019 or 2020.
Steelers.
Good. I'm glad you said that one.
Yeah, that would have been tough.
Let's see. Former Baltimore Raven Jason Brown. I don't know if you know who Jason Brown is. He left his multi-million-dollar contract in the NFL entirely for what job occupation? So this man ran away and did something.
All right, this dude either became a doctor or joined the military. I'm gonna guess he joined the military.
This man became a farmer.
Oh my god!
Could you imagine?
That bro had CTE. I'll tell you that.
Yo, you know that man just sitting there going, "I don't want these millions. I wanna go farm, buddy."
Yeah.
All right.
Dude's off.
1979. What actor showed up to a Denver Broncos game to perform with the team's cheerleaders? And I'll give you this as a hint. He is he's an actor, comedian. He is no longer living.
Did Harrison Ford, is Harrison Ford dead?
No, Harrison Ford's still alive.
Oh my god.
This guy's a comedy and an actor, and he I think he killed himself.
Oh, he
within the past 10 to 15 years.
Oh, this must be tough.
Aaron,
sure.
Aaron, do you know it?
Is it Robin Williams?
Boom.
Robert, look at you. No, damn, he killed himself 10 years ago?
I think it was, right?
That was actually like 5 or 6 years ago, I think.
Yeah. Well,
like
time flies either way.
or something like that.
No, was it?
Yeah, it wasn't that long ago.
I thought that was Seymour Hoffman.
He didn't off himself. He had a OD'd on heroin or some shit. Like legit.
Let's look it up. Robin Williams. What do you got for when did he die? 2014.
Robin Williams. Yeah, 2014. Oh, okay, it's a year off.
So, not 5 years ago, but
yeah, but
8, almost
in the middle.
Yeah. Right. Okay. All right. All right. What is the term for multiple receivers to occupying the same area of the field? So you got them all on the right side. It's not trips, right?
That's what I was thinking.
Multiple receivers occupying the same area of the field.
I don't know. Stack formation.
All right, here, I'll give you a hint. It's something that happens when it rains a lot.
Hail.
No, hold on, let me finish. When it rains a lot, sometimes people get stuff in their basement. They get water in their basement, and you call it a what?
Flood.
There it is. I'm pretty
okay.
good. I'm pretty good at making up the clues, I think.
Yeah.
Like,
no.
What's that game? It's like Pictionary
you're just giving
or
it away the whole time.
Yeah.
What happens when a bunch of water goes in your basement? I don't know.
Hail.
Seepage.
Seepage. Where's Firmacil? Hey, Firmacil, if you want to be a part of this podcast, just let us know. All right. In what year was the 2-point conversion reinstated in the NFL?
It's definitely been in there since I've been watching young. I'm just gonna guess 1998.
All right, I'll give you a hint. It was the same year. No. Let's see. We weren't even itching our daddy's pants yet, either of us. It would have been 2 years before you were born.
1993.
Oh, dang. You were born in 95?
Yeah, bro. I'm old, bro.
Oh, shit. All right, then only 1 year then.
That's funny.
1994. 1994 is when the 2-point conversion was reinstated in the NFL.
Jesus Christ. Now you made me feel old. My man's like, bro, you were born in 1995? Like, shit, yeah.
All right. Last one, and I want to look up the other people that are a part of this. Who kicked the longest field goal in NFL history as of 2018?
Sebastian Janikowski.
Come on, man. No.
Robbie Gould.
It was in 2013 he hit it. He's the only one that's gotten this far. It looks like. I'm not seeing anyone else that has a 64-yarder, and he hit it when he was in Denver.
Ooh, I know it.
No, this one got me. I don't know why I'm drawing a blank.
All right, I believe he also was a kicker. He was the kicker for the Broncos. And he also, I think, was a kicker for, I want to say he played for, hold on, Arian, don't tell him. We'll drag this one out for 2 minutes if we have to. I believe he's a place kicker. I believe he played for the, okay, he also played for the Lions.
Matt Prater.
Boom. Got it.
Ding, ding, ding.
Oh my God, I got it. Oh God, Matt Prater hit a 64-yarder for the Browns. Where was that?
Yeah, I remember that one.
Jesus.
Yeah, that's
That's
what
huge.
it was in Denver, and was it 2013, I believe. I said
December.
Yeah.
December of 2013. Hit 64 yards. At least at least it's not John Gruden taking his kicking team out there to attempt a 71-yard field goal at the end of like a second quarter because he said, "Screw it, let's go for it."
True. That is crack. Yeah, I appreciate your help. I was struggling on this trivia. This is
Trivia's tough.
tough.
Trivia's tough. Yeah, it's gonna get tougher from the weeks ahead of us because I've ran out of my football quiz tickets, so that means that I'm gonna have to do some research, and it's gonna be college teams.
Something maybe updated past 2018 too.
Yes,
to be honest.
yes. It was a Christmas gift. It was a Christmas gift.
No, I just love it. It's like, okay, before
As of
Yeah, yeah.
2018. Yeah.
I'm trying to think hard. 2018 is 3 years ago, but shit.
Yeah. But all right, Chris. Well, I appreciate you coming on the show. This was another edition of Life Parlay. If you find yourself here again, remember, hit me up at lifeparlay@gmail.com. We'll send you over a gift. And remember to find our website at lifeparlay.com. Next week or the week after, we have a big guest coming in. Don't want to say who it is. I don't know exactly if it's next week or the week after, so I don't want to promise that either. But I promise there is a big guest coming in soon. He is, well, no, we'll just leave it at that. Big guest coming in. I think our biggest guest that we've ever had. So someone might hear that and get upset that they thought they were the biggest guest, but I promise you weren't. So I got that coming up for us. We got Hawaii this weekend. Chris is coming into town. Not going to see him. Bunch of stuff going on with Life Parlay right now. We got a couple more orders that just went in this week. And I'm excited for everything's going. And we got a lot more to go. And hopefully by next week this time, we got maybe one of these quarterbacks gets to move over somewhere. So, but Chris, I appreciate it.
Yeah, bro. Thanks for having me.